Okay, and are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
It was on a hot, scorching day in 1995 that Emma Humphreys was set free after 10 years in prison. She was originally convicted at age 17 for the murder of her violent boyfriend, Trevor Armitage. Emma was cleared on appeal, testing the legal grounds for provocation.
It may have calmed down now, but just hours ago, the scenes here were ecstatic as Emma Humphreys, who spent her entire adult life in prison, walked free.
Oh, it was great. It was massive. Everybody fighting for me to get out of prison. But when they said I was free to go, it was all a mad rush. I remember standing on the steps and receiving bouquets of flowers, getting shoved into a taxi, and going to the press conference.
Just thanks to everybody that's got me here, and it was all for a reason, and maybe it's to help people who are abused.
In September 1992, Justice for Women, a feminist campaign group, received a letter from Emma after she had spent 7 years in prison. In response to her plea, Justice for Women organised a legal team to take on the criminal justice system to fight for Emma's freedom.
Whilst we applaud the judges for their decision, we do not feel grateful that a simple act of justice has taken this long. Justice for Emma has come 10 years too late. This case has been a miscarriage of justice on a par with that of the Guildford Four and Judith Ward.
I find it strange how I was abusing myself at the age of 7. I was picking chunks of skin out of my hands. I used to have to go to school with bandages on so I wouldn't do it.
You don't know if you were sexually abused when you were little?
No, I don't know. I spent every weekend with my father, and I don't remember one weekend.
I live in my own world away from others who do not understand the mental pain that is inside of myself, so unknown by Emma. We, it or Emma or myself, who, I don't know, is very scared to wake up, to sleep, to live. Emma's parents separated when the children were very little. Soon after, her mother met Alan Somerville while working in a pub. They made plans to start a new life in Canada, bringing the children with them.
My mum changed. She became a worse alcoholic. Alan was a chronic alcoholic. And there was always fights and police coming around, and he flew out to Canada before us. After about 2 days, he split her head open. He knocked my head against hers. They were both drunk. There was a lot of violence. I hated it. But I always had sympathy for him. He was beaten as a child. So I tried to understand why he was violent.
I am scared to find some more pain inside the rusty object that holds the pain. Be it my heart, please take it, and my soul, recycle it, and let me loose from my own world.
I ran away from home when I was 12, and the only way I could guarantee to get a roof over my head was to sleep with a man. Then I met this other girl, and we started doing it for money. Could be a judge, could be a mechanic, could be a unemployed bloke. There was abuse, rape, muggings, you name it, it happened to me. I don't care what anybody says, there's no happy hooker. 3/4 of the women that work the streets are out there not just because they want to be out there, because they're made to be there. Like a piece of meat, that they're to be bought and sold and...
Dear Justice for Women, I hope you don't mind me writing to you. I'll try to keep this brief because you're probably very busy. In December '85, I was convicted of murdering my boyfriend, Trevor Armitage, who was 35. I had met him 6 months previously when I was 16. I was a prostitute and he was a client. I was 17 at the time of the offence and am 24 now. The night of the offence, I had a knife in my hand from cutting my wrists because I wanted some kind of response from him other than physical abuse or rape again. As I heard him coming, I panicked that maybe he could actually turn even worse and turn the knife on me, and I was cornered upstairs. He came and laid beside where I was sitting. He was undressed, and I knew I was going to be raped again, beaten, or both. I couldn't go through it again. I just wanted him to get away from me.
I just couldn't go through with it anymore. And I don't know what made me do it.
For stabbing him to death, she was ordered at 17 to be detained at Her Majesty's pleasure. She's been in prison for 10 years, her entire adult life.
While in prison, Emma developed a love for writing, finding solace and expression through her work, and won a Cursor Award for literature.
I said I wanted to keep on writing and work with children. Those are still 2 things I would like to do.
To slip over the edge would be like to carelessly write over the edges of this paper. If you want to know where my sanity lies, just feel the edge of this paper you are holding. Emma Humphreys died on the 11th of July, 1998, aged just 30. Her death was caused by an accidental overdose of the medication she had become addicted to whilst in prison.